What's going on, guys? It's Andy from AP Bricks, and today we are going to be reviewing the LEGO Star Wars set number 75377, Invisible Hand. So this set released on March 1st of 2024 and retails for $49.99. This set is also in the Starship Collection, which is a part of the 18 plus lineup. So let's get right into the review. So starting off with the instruction manual, you can see it's pretty simple like most modern day manuals are. It's got that white background with a front view of the invisible hand. Now if you flip to page 18 and 19 in the instruction manual, you will find an Easter egg. So over here on page number 18 with instruction number 17, you can see that there are those two little yellow and red studs. And so those are supposed to be representing Anakin and Obi-Wan's starfighters inside of the hangar bay of the Invisible Hand from Episode 3. Now on page 19 with instruction number 18, you can see that there's a little tiny MTT build. So the Invisible Hand would be a separatist ship, so it would be carrying droids to some extent, and that's kind of a cool little reference there from LEGO. You will also get a description down here on the bottom of what these studs and bricks are supposed to mean and where they're at in the movie, so I think that's a cool addition as well. So here is the Invisible Hand completely built, and I'd like to start off with looking at the base. So you can see that there is a printed plaque down here with LEGO Star Wars logo on there and the Invisible Hand. Pretty simple, but nice to have, especially not a sticker. So this is the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, so it's kind of cool that they decided to add that brick in there. Now if you don't like that brick, you can take it off and replace it with this great piece similar to the Executor. So now working our way towards the actual profile of the base, it is very similar to the Executor in that it is completely tiled off and it has some nice curvature to it as well that's very subtle but still looks very, very clean. So the stand isn't super big, not super small, but does a very good job of holding the set up while still allowing the set to be the star of the show. Now moving on to the set, I'd like to start up front. So right there, that little green stud, that is actually going to represent the control area where Obi-Wan and Anakin actually fight Grievous before the windows and glass end up breaking and he flies out of the ship. So I think that's pretty cool that they have that in there. So there are two, or really four stickers, but two on each side, and that's going to be the one right there and then that Separatist logo right up there. So not too bad, but for an 18 plus set, it would be nice to have those printed as there is some color variation in that light gray from the sticker to the actual brick. So just something to note. Now as for the coloration and the choice of bricks that they use for the rest of the set, I think it's very, very good looking. So we've got that light gray and that dark gray in there, as well as that navy blue, which I think pulls the set together very well and looks quite nice. So you can see that there are also these kind of translucent yellow pieces down here, and that's just kind of representing the lighting that is along the ship, which you do see in the movie, so I think it's a cool addition. Now working our way over to the hangar, you can kind of see straight through it with those translucent blue pieces, which is pretty cool. Obviously those trans pieces represent the shield that is usually up when they're out in space. Now you can see, it's kind of hard, but you can see on that left side over there, it's kind of just tucked right up in there is the MTT. And then if you look over here, you can see those two studs right there, and that's going to be the starfighters. And it is completely tiled off on the inside, so I think that's a really nice addition. Now, obviously, you're not really going to be able to see that much, but it is a cool attention to detail. Now, working our way up towards the bridge, you can see that there is kind of a slight tilt to it, a little slight forward tilt to it. So some people may think that that might take away from the set, which I would understand, but I don't think it's a big issue. It's kind of hard to work with those pieces because I think the hinges would only allow it to go so far forward or so far back without it just looking abruptly wrong. So they do add those little cheese slopes in there to give it some curvature, which I do think looks quite nice. But for what it is, it's pretty simple, but it gets the point across. So that's the bridge of the ship. So I would like to add that this is where Anakin and Obi-Wan do fight with Count Dooku while Emperor Palpatine is in handcuffs. So I think it's pretty cool. And obviously Anakin ends up taking the head off of Count Dooku and kind of begins his start into becoming a Sith apprentice. So pretty cool, but I just wanted to kind of add that in there. So looking at the back of the ship, you can see that we do have three thrusters. Now these are very similar, if not the same, to the ones that are on the Executor, but I do think it's a very good choice of piece usage. Now we do have those translucent orange studs, which represents the thrust, so pretty cool, but I'm not sure what these pieces are called right here, but I do like those being used as engine parts. So there's only three of them, which is a lot less compared to the 13 on the Executor, but this is a lot smaller of a ship in universe, so I think they did a good job keeping scale right there. So I wanted to show you the back side of this as well, just so you know what it looks like, but it is pretty much the exact same as the front of the ship. So overall, the detail on the set's pretty spot on. It's kind of cool how they use some of these smaller pieces up here to give more depth and texture to the set as a whole. And then these kind of translucent yellow pieces being used across the set to represent the lighting that is on this ship in the movie. So just a very good, detailed, and good display piece overall. So one more feature that I would like to point out, not that it's maybe a feature, maybe it's just part of the design, but I do think it's kind of cool, and maybe you could add it in as another Easter egg, is that if you do kind of pull off this front half of the ship right there, you can see it's just connected with those little clips right there that do come in on this other side and connect. But the cool part about that is that in universe and in the movie, this actually does happen. The ship does break in half before they're able to land it on Coruscant, so it's kind of cool. You can maybe not reenact, but you can have the idea that, okay, well, Anakin and Obi-Wan are in this part of the ship right now and they have to land it on Coruscant. So kind of a cool addition from Lego, because they probably could have just built it all the way through, but they did decide to add those two pieces right there. So it's a two-part set to kind of hint towards that Easter egg. So very cool addition. So I think this set's definitely worth going out and getting for $50. It's a great display piece to add to your collection, especially with it being in the 18+ category. Obviously, that's who it's oriented towards. But I do think it's a great addition to the collection of the starships, so definitely worth going out and getting. So that was my complete review of the 2024 LEGO Star Wars Invisible Hand. If you like this video, you can go ahead and hit that like button. If you've got other ideas or other sets or anything that you'd like me to review, you can leave that down in the comments. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.